You're going to be the first one on. You want to hold?
From Erie Zone Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chamber,
you want to hold?
it's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
And welcome to Taxpayer Hotline. This is City Councilman Kaz Kwiatkowski, and for the time being, I'm doing this solo, and the telephone number is on the screen. And the rules are simple. This is your show, Taxpayers Hotline. You can call in about any question you want answered, or hopefully I'll try. Any complaint, anything's fair game. Just keep it in the bounds of good taste and try not to get personal with anybody. And that's the only rules we have. And for 1 hour, it's your show. So go ahead. We already have a caller. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Cass, I want to tell you that it showed on TV about the firemen cleaning out these fire hydrants and that.
Yeah, they showed them with shovels, and it'd be nice if everybody helped them.
Yeah, and they should have the police get the neighborhood watch group and have them going around cleaning these fire hydrants out.
Well, that'd be a nice project for, we have a lot of, like where I live, we have a lot of rentals. It'd be a good idea for some of these college groups that maybe come out and do that. And
people like the people live near a corner and they have to have a fire hydrant there. They should at least try to clean it out a little bit.
Yeah, we probably, that's a good idea that the neighborhood watchers, like the captains, could probably ask for volunteers, or maybe when the weather's real nice, go around to the people and ask them, like during the winter months, if they'd be willing to help out,
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to ask you too, why don't they put talk to have a meeting with city councilman and the mayor to put heat sensors in the ground, and where it would warm the ground a little bit, and it'd keep the snow away from the fire hydrants too, wouldn't it?
Wow, that'd be quite a project. I don't,
Yeah.
It's a nice idea. I don't know if we have the funds, but
budget for it or something,
You know what I'd like to see? We don't do it here. I don't know why. It'd be nice if we put I'm going to ask the fire chief why we don't
put covers on them.
Not only that, but those things they have out in the county where they stick up?
Yeah, where they stick up. Yeah, that would be a good idea too,
Yeah, the other day I drove around town. I was trying to figure out where they were. And
like the fireman said, if they're at a bad fire and they had to dig out a fire hydrant,
Yeah, sometimes they have to, if they don't know where they are exactly, they have to call in. They have locations, but yeah, it'd be nicer if we had these little flags on top, those poles. Yeah. But your idea is good. What's this thing about a cover?
You ever see them big plastic garbage cans or something?
Yeah, I wonder how long they'd last there, though.
I know, that's the only thing is, you get kids in the neighborhood, they'll steal them and everything.
Right.
Too bad that you couldn't get where you could hold it in the ground one side and have the firemen just lift them up and pull them off when they need to use them or something,
Right, on the short term,
yes.
On the short term, we all need people just to
clean them out, yeah. Clean up around the fire hydrants and that. And then they were, like I said when I mentioned it, you should have the police with the neighborhood watch group and that. And like you said, the college people that live down around in that area, have them go and they clean them out.
Yeah, when you're young, you can do that. A lot of the elderly can't do that, but
I know I can't do stuff like that no more because I got bad legs and everything.
I know if I lived right on the corner, well, really, everybody should take control of their neighborhood because, you got to figure which hydrant's going to come to your house,
Yeah.
You don't want to see that happen, but
right, that's right. You hate to have your house on fire and the firemen can't find a fire hydrant to get water. I know what you're saying there.
Yeah, on the short term, I'm going to see about I don't know about your heating idea is nice if we lived in a perfect world.
Yeah.
That's like when we had the heated sidewalks.
Yeah.
Those days are gone too, though.
Yeah. I mean, if they put like heat sensors far below the ground, just to keep them warm and that.
That'd probably be quite a project, but...
Yeah, I know that. I mean, I don't know if there's money in the budget for anything like that.
But I'd like to see them at least put those little high poles on them so that...
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know why we don't, I see it out in the county a lot.
Yeah, I know you see it out in the county, because they get a lot more snow out there. But like I said, when the snow plows go through and that, they bury them too.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's why, but your idea is good too. They should put a stick up, like a metal piece, high enough where when the fireman has to look for them, they won't have trouble finding them,
That's true.
Okay, are they going to put cameras on them police cars, or you don't know?
Well, that's a long-range project. I've talked to the chief about it, and he's willing. Right now. There's a lot of questions. Number one, they're looking at the results of other cities.
Right.
You got to remember, even with cameras, there are some privacy issues.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, we're talking about,
What you're saying there, yeah.
if a policeman has a camera on him, there are times when he can't have that camera on.
Right, that's it.
And there's going to be, I think they're watching it very carefully, and grant money's going to be an issue too. I remember the president said that, he wanted to release money, but the last time the federal government gave us money for extra policemen, I think we could only hire like 1.5 policemen.
Right.
So,
you ever see them drones with the remote control drones?
Yeah.
Fly in the air? The police can have stuff like that to look for suspects.
Wow, yeah,
in the neighborhood.
You got, once again there, when you do it, you got to remember that, the public right now is being tested with there'll be, civil liberty cases that, will there have to be search warrants issued, or,
right.
With all these drones going around, you see things like, you're hearing complaints from pilots at airports.
Yeah, airport jet.
They've almost hit a couple that kids were fooling around with. So, the drone issue is something that's brand new. Just like the cell phone cameras and everything.
Right.
We're into new territories that we haven't, we didn't have to deal with 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But,
too bad they couldn't put, like in your bad neighborhoods and that, like 23rd and Holland and...
there is a plan to do cameras.
Put cameras on the poles and that.
Yeah, they're working on that downtown right now, and I think they'll go out to the neighborhoods. Other towns have done it.
And in the bad neighborhood where the crime's really bad.
Yeah, if you were watching the news, they are working on a plan with the downtown district and local merchants.
They are doing that in the downtown area.
Yeah, they're going to help them. If you want help having a security camera, then there'll be, you'll have to agree to, I think the way I heard it, there'll be an agreement that the police can access your camera.
Right, that's right.
Because we do, right now there's cameras all over downtown. People don't realize it.
We got them in our building here where we live, that if there's something going on, the police can look on the computer.
Yeah.
They can see Friendship Towers, the hallways and that.
Well, a lot of downtown is camera too, but, it's an interesting, all the things we want to do acquire money, so.
It is, because I know you guys are running on a real tight budget.
But I think you will see, cameras with.
Didn't you?
Yeah, well, it's tight, but, that's going to be something that, in the future, we're going to have to deal with, cameras with police officers, cameras in the neighborhoods, that'll be something that we got to work on.
They should put the cameras in the neighborhood.
Well, that's probably coming next,
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea with all these shootings and that.
I've seen a lot of people cooperate with the, local law enforcement.
Yeah.
And actually let them use their cameras.
Right. Yep. I think that's a good idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But, hey, thank you for calling.
Yep, okay, I'll see you. Bye.
Wow, well, what do... Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller, you're next.
Hello, I'm just calling to say there's no meeting tonight.
Oh, they can't, oh, was that canceled again, or?
Yeah, again, because of the weather, and we're just gonna have it in March instead of no meetings in February at all, so.
Okay, that'd be good.
So that's the Mercyhurst area.
Yep, that's right. I'll mark that down on my calendar for a March,
Yeah, I can't even tell you what the date is. Wait, I can look it up real quick here, but it's, the weather's just too bad, and we can't take a chance on anybody sliding on the steps of the, church and that over there, so we said forget it.
yeah, would that be March 2nd, probably?
First Monday, yeah, whatever the first Monday would be.
Yeah, it looks like March 2nd.
Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, we'll see everybody then. We'll have a good meeting that time.
Yeah, we should. Seems to be that the weather's keeping everybody quiet.
Yeah, I know, it's been good. Yeah, they haven't been, if they've been, making noise, they've been staying in the house making noise, and we haven't heard anything, so that's good.
Yeah, we had a gentleman just before you that said, we should be cleaning out fire hydrants. Maybe we can get these young college kids to clean out some of the hydrants in the neighborhood.
They should do it for service time.
Yeah, that'd be nice, In fact, I'll even join them at the top of the hill, at mine.
Yeah, your place there, yeah, they could.
Yeah, just,
All righty, well, thanks, have a good day.
you too, thank you for calling.
Yeah, bye-bye.
I was all alone, and now
We feel you need some company up.
I got Ronnie and DJ and...
Shirts are almost the same color. This is
Hey,
some
you
sort of a weird day.
Wait a minute, I got the right memo.
You got the color there.
I got
too.
the blue
Oh,
one,
man,
yeah.
This is
Oh.
weird. This is odd.
What do you well, you know what? I was feeling like, the weather was going to hold everybody back.
The weather did hold everybody back. It's cold and it's very depressing.
No,
The sky. You look up at the sky.
It doesn't have to be. When I was a kid, we loved this weather. We made money at it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, today would have been a bad day. See, today would have been, you couldn't have made any money today.
Yeah.
Okay? And, as a kid, you loved when you had nice light but a lot of light snow, you could.
Yeah, they need a pickaxe to get through some of this stuff out here now.
We used to get coal shovels because they were wider and harder. And,
Oh, that's when you had muscles and young kid.
well, when you're young, nothing had,
Nothing stopped you.
We were going to buy a snowblower. Oops, excuse me. We were going to buy a snowblower with our money. Of course, that ended when we got the awards or grants at the Liberty Plaza. Didn't make it.
Did we lose that person that was on the line?
No, it was a dead line.
Oh,
He can
okay.
call-
This-
They can call back.
Okay, you're on the east side. You take care of the east side, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, how about that nuisance bar? The
Which
old
one?
Jimmy's Tavern.
I say, which one?
Jimmy's Tavern,
You mean the one on 28th Street?
26th Street by Wilson.
Yeah, that's been, that I've actually dealt with, I've met with, I don't want to say too much on the air.
Yes,
Because I've met with some concerned,
I know who it is, too.
and that's been passed on. I don't want to go into a lot of detail on the air.
I just
because-
want to know, not this last Saturday, Saturday
not-
before,
Yeah.
there was a ton of shooting going on. You thought it was a war going on in that place.
It's not forgotten, okay?
But last weekend, there was nothing said about the shooting going on.
Well,
Sounded
I-
like a war going on down there.
Off the air.
Our friend, your friend.
I'll
was
talk to
talking-
you, I'll talk to you off the air, because,
Yeah, but you got to shut that place down. Somebody didn't get shot.
do you remember how long it took to shut down the
Last
one on
fall.
Buffalo Road?
Oh, that one right by over the bridge there.
Yeah. Well, where that one lady used to, the one woman had one lady protest all the time. It took her literally. Not only that, then it was the one in East Avenue.
But this has been going on for 2 years. This guy.
It takes a while. I
No,
mean,
it takes a while. How long does it take? 2 years.
The hardest thing to do, I've learned, is to take away somebody's business, license, or property. Before they do that, I will guarantee that they will work at it until they have the proper paperwork. Because it's not easy as people think it is.
Well, I know it isn't, but this.
You have to really, Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Kaz, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Who's the liaison to the Port Authority on City Council?
I'm the alternate. I'm thinking it's got to be either, I'm going to take a guess, it's either Dave Brennan or Bobby Mursky.
All right. Hey,
Because I serve under them as a co-chairman. I could look it up real quick. You want me to go take a look?
oh, that's all right. I just have a question because, with this nonprofit deal coming up down in Harrisburg to the vote, I think that's going to pass and it's going to be on the resolution. And I heard on a talk show this morning that a gentleman was saying that the Port Authority has made donations to the city to purchase a vehicle. I don't recall the Port Authority ever giving the city any money to buy a vehicle.
Well, I never was on council way far back. I can check.
Well, would you check because they said...
You said it was a vehicle?
Pardon?
You said they gave us a vehicle?
That's what the host on the talk show said that Brenda Sandberg had told them. That's why they want to stay with the nonprofit, and that they take the profits they're making from the property they're renting out, and they're taking care of the launching ramps and everything else, and they give vehicles to the city, and I don't recall ever.
Well, the Port Authority as a whole, is a tax-exempt organization.
As a whole, but the property that they're renting out to, they said they're taking that money and they're they're taking care of the ramps, and they probably are. But they, in the same breath, she also said that they've got vehicles for the city.
Well, I'll check. That's possible.
I don't ever recall that.
Now, what they did get in trouble on one time, the Intermodal Center?
Yes.
There was debate on that because...
the Greyhound and...
like Phil English.
Yes.
Not Phil English. Who was down there? Was it Phil?
I think it might have been Phil English.
Yeah, now, that was, I think that was okay.
Yeah.
The Port Authority offices were okay. The Chamber of Commerce was okay.
Greyhound?
But Greyhound was a gray area because that was a for-profit venture.
Yes.
And because the EMTA also has a small portion down there.
Yep.
But I think the Greyhound portion had to pay tax on. So they have been challenged. In fact, there's some challenges now on some of the yacht clubs down there.
There is. There's a few of them. But I want to go to another subject real quick.
Go ahead. You know what? I'll check on this. That's easy to check what they gave us.
Well, I asked you. I was going over 26th Street this morning here, and there's no snow down there by the stadium. And of course, the trucks are coming up from their garage. And why are these people dropping their plows on bare pavements? They're knocking the hell out of that plowing strip.
You mean our people?
Yes.
They should. Well, they really shouldn't be if there's no snow.
That's true. It takes a lot of common sense. And in the same breath, when I was going down Sassafras, down to St. Vincent Hospital, that road was a disaster. You mean to tell me that they can't get over there and take care of that, to keep that open for emergency vehicles and people coming to the hospital?
What was wrong with Sassafras? It was
a cow path, like ruts all over. You know how the side streets are.
Yeah, well, like mine was pretty good shape, and then with this last ice and snow, it's back again.
Well, mine's in great shape.
Yeah, it's just I noticed there was some complaints even around the schools during the last big snowstorm.
They sure keep the place up State Street clear by the television station.
Yeah, well, if that's what, I got a lot of complaints about 2 or 3 schools.
Well, I know they have a tough job, but the places where they're having a lot of emergency vehicles coming and going, you think they would get that cleared up?
Well, not only that. How about near the schools where, the kids have to walk, and the big complaint is...
Well, the big complaint with that is the sidewalks down there, even Tops and all those places, they're not cleaning their sidewalks.
Oh, you know what? It's interesting, John. Can you see it on TV?
Yeah.
Here we go with our view from the Erie Times.
Oh, that's wonderful.
City council should look at parking rules. And I imagine they mean all the snow and everything, right?
Yeah.
It's strange, though, that when a certain councilman tried to do something...
Yeah, they took care of them.
Yeah, they really try. So I'm going to find out who wrote this article.
You know, you go up there at Upper Peach Street over that multi-million streetscaping and all that, and then the curbs and all that. You don't see any sidewalks cleared up there.
Oh, in the old days, the merchants would actually be out there with shovels.
True, and even down there by the zoo. Now, they cleaned all the way up to where the bank used to be.
Yeah.
And they stopped. I thought that was Scott Mitchell's property there.
I don't know. The zoo's always been a pretty good. I've never had trouble with Scott when they.
Why would they just go up to the beginning of that property off of 38th and Cherry there and stop?
Well, you know what? I'm kind of on that. That's one of my committees this year. So when I meet with them, I'll just kind of ask them, because it's been my opinion that they've always done a pretty good job. I remember when they had issues on that Hungarian monument with the flags being bad.
Yes, they took care of that.
Yeah, he went over there. He didn't have to, but he did it, and because he said, this is our area. So I'll ask him.
Oh, unless somebody got.
Well, I thought their property only went up to 38, John.
It goes to 38th and Peach.
Yeah, well, how far did they do it, though?
They did it all the way to 38th and Cherry, then stopped. You know, with the giraffes in the middle of the yard there?
Yeah, I'll find out for you, okay?
It's just the thing. Of course, you go all the way up and down.
That could be the city on the other side with that park, too.
It could be, but you go up and down there, there's got to be something done. It's
Maybe we can talk to them and, ask them maybe to keep it clean, but I would, I'm really, when I read this article from the Times, I was really disappointed because...
that's a liberal paper anyway.
Well, I mean,
they're for all Democrats.
If we were to really get tough, the next article is about how we're going after the elderly and having to move their cars. My mother's 88 and she moves hers, but I can just see the newspaper articles if we start, playing hardball.
That's apples and oranges. You go up and down by a collegiate academy and says no parking.
Right. Good luck, right?
They're on both sides of the road. And the mayor should have got out quicker and got off his duff and declared a snow where they could get away with cleaning the side streets and have records following.
Well, here's the thing. Council in the past has given all kinds of tools, but we don't. We don't have the ability
to declare a snow emergency.
That's left up to the administrative branch and whoever that is that makes a decision.
Well, we got a snow emergency. Maybe you ought to look for federal funds from that guy in Washington.
Well, the one that does the plowing.
Yeah, he does a lot of plowing with our dollars.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think, we really need to be a little, like I've been in Chicago during the storms, I've been in Buffalo, they're a little tougher,
Right, they got a plow truck and you move it or lose it.
I saw a police officer out, now he's only doing his job, okay? It was about, maybe a week after the storm. And there he is, he's having to scrape cars down so he can find the windshield.
Well, yeah, they got a 48-hour thing.
Yeah, but I mean, this is way past 48 hours.
Well, they have a 48 hours. If you don't have your sidewalk cleared in 48 hours, you're being cited.
Well, good luck. When was, right?
That's true. Up here, we put our garbage out a week ahead of time.
You remember when they had the, what was it, one of the ex-mayors didn't shovel her walk?
Yeah.
She
lives up on, I forget what avenue that is, but...
And then you're penalizing people who have a sidewalk, and if, like in my neighborhood, half the people who have sidewalks, half don't.
Yeah, well, that's because of our wonderful ordinances.
Yeah, that's what I said. We got all kinds of ordinances, but, at wintertime, we need to be reasonable, but we need to be a little tougher. Well, and especially with, I'll tell you what, poor Mark, Alexandrovich, when he tried to get that, he's going after those plow drivers.
Yeah, Eric Irwin chastised him.
Yeah, no, the other day I was on 28th, I'm trying to think about where I was. I was somewhere between Walmart and the firehouse. Probably, I'm thinking maybe on Burton. And there's a huge wall of snow on the boulevard.
Yep.
Now, our people didn't put that there.
Well, there was another thing
our people didn't put that.
The parking authority was pushing the snow over there by that St. Vincent lot right into the street.
Yeah, the trouble is when you get a mountain of snow on a boulevard, and I got to pull around there, I don't want to hear that, well, it's an accident.
You can't see right.
I don't want my vehicle, smashed in the front because I have to creep out because I can't see around an 8-foot pile that somebody cleaned out their driveway with a private hauler. So I'm thinking, we need some rules now about, if you're going to do business in the city, my yard, if you want to come up here and take a look, you know where I live, John.
Yeah.
Anybody's welcome to look. You can play Edmund Hillary in my backyard.
Well, you can come over and play bird in mine.
Because that's where all my snow is, from my driveway.
Okay. The crater on 38th Street has been filled, but I don't know how long it will stay filled.
You mean the one on the corner there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a hit and miss project at most.
Well, yeah, it wasn't dry in the coal pack. It'll kick out again. So.
But there's another one I'm warning people that I turned it in early too, about the right by the hardware store on Fruit Street there.
Value. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a grate that goes. If you ain't paying attention, you're going to hit it and you go down.
All on that right side, all the way up there. And that's state. They should be out there too. So.
Yeah, we kowtow to the state. We're like afraid of them.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, okay, have a great day.
Hey, thanks, John.
If it's dull, I'll call back.
Okay.
Okay, getting back to that water bill.
Now
I guess That water bill for the 17, they been charging you, the sewer bill.
Yeah.
They double charged you. There's no meter on the refuge. It's on the water bill, and water goes, how much water you use, that's how much your refuge.
It's not about the meter. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, I got three things.
Go ahead.
Well, I'll wait for him. Should I wait for him to get done talking?
Who? No, go ahead. You can go.
Okay. Okay, I got three things to tell you. I seen your rerun last week, and you were talking about that Sheridan down at the Bayfront.
Yes.
And I was told back in 2007 when they built that place, it was funded by the state. The state put that up. And if they go into red for the last 208, 209, way through to, the state covers it until the year 2017. So, I mean, if they go into red $1 million, the state just covers that for 10 years, from 2007 to 2017. Mm-hmm. So they can't lose. I mean, if that place only rents out 2 rooms a week, the state will cover that for each year. I mean, their losses.
You know what? I was always confused because that's a county project. The county's involved somehow too because they had to guarantee the loan.
They funded it.
Yeah,
but the state might have. This gentleman's probably right. The state might be involved. I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to find out. I'm going to ask what who really runs that. Okay.
Okay. And the other thing is, you're talking about raising revenue for the city.
Right.
When I go to Vegas, I rent a car every year. It costs me $96 for like a little Nissan or a Hyundai, not a fancy car.
Right.
That's cheap for the week, right?
I think it is. Yeah, I've rented cars.
By the time they put all their taxes on, it costs me $159.
That's true.
They put on airport tax, they put on school tax, city tax, all kind of different taxes. They just slap it on there.
Convention tax.
Yeah, there's all kind of taxes. So I don't know why the city can't come up with something like that and tax these, like you talked about, tax these students.
Okay, hold your question 1 second. What we found out, because we're a third-class city, and I'm going to check into this because I only seen one city actually get money from, I think, a hotel, but I want to call them and check why. We were told that under third class, we can't collect a room tax. That's why you see in Erie, the county gets the room tax, not the city. But if you go to Pittsburgh or Philly, it's the opposite. Of course, Philly is a first-class city, and Pittsburgh is a second-class city. So they can collect room tax. So I'm going to have that checked into because I've always been told we cannot collect a room tax. We cannot collect a lot of taxes that the state or gives the county the right to collect. But you have a very valid point.
Yeah, they just pile. Okay, the third thing I want to say is, you're Einstein John that calls in every week.
Yeah.
He's going down 26th Street to St. Vincent Hospital, right, to go to St. Vincent?
Right.
And he goes down Sassafras. Well, Sassafras is a one-way street coming south. There's no way he can get to St. Vincent Hospital on Sassafras Street unless because he goes the wrong way. Now, if he goes down to Myrtle Street, he could get to St. Vincent Hospital.
Yeah, I don't know where he's coming from, but
He doesn't even know where he's going. He's going down Sassafras the wrong way.
he'll probably call back and tell you how he did it, but...
And there are potholes. There's one right in front of Mercier's entrance, the college, a big one, just come up this morning, right by the traffic light.
Okay, I go that way home.
Big one right in front of St. Luke's School parking lot, another big one, right by the curb, a big one. So, I mean, there's so the people don't hit them.
On 38th Street for St. Luke's too?
Yep, both of them.
Okay. Yeah, watch that one by,
38th.
watch that one by Fruit Street too, if you ever go into Value Home Center.
Yeah.
That grade is sinking. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm just riding around town, our guys are gonna be busy when the snow melts.
We got this big
Hey, I want to
raise.
get off. I don't want to hold up the line like John does for a half hour. I'll
Okay,
get off.
but you know what, for you, I'm gonna check on the Sheraton Hotel, how the financing was done, okay? And we'll check on the room tax too, okay, sir? If he's listening. It's one of the biggest questions we always have is why can't we do a lot of things?
Right.
And it's because of class of the city that we're in.
And what affects the class, what,
Well, class goes by type of government, population. For instance, Mill Creek could become a third-class city if they wanted to. They have enough people and, Go ahead, caller.
To the last gentleman, you can get the St. Vincent's from Myrtle or Sassafras.
Well, he was asking if it's heading south, why were you using it?
That was,
He's probably thinking you're coming over,
Coming over and down?
I know, you're coming probably like over 26th Street or something,
No, I was coming from Majestic Bakery.
Oh, so you made a trip to the old neighborhood.
Yes.
he went up to Myrtle.
And that is, Sassafras is one way, right?
Yeah, if you come from Majestics.
Right, and Myrtle's both ways.
Right.
I gotta go down there. I haven't been down to see the boys in Majestics.
It's great. Have a great day.
Getting back to you about that fee is not necessarily for the meter. That's administrative fees and everything.
Well, they have two feeds on the same.
Well, yes, because in the old days, if you charge one fee, you gotta remember, when we split, okay, they used to they basically were doing one set of accounting, okay?
Right.
Now because we're separating it, from an accounting standpoint, that's what you do, you separate the fees. It makes more sense. It's like, it's a truer accounting of, because they're doing two separate, they're doing garbage and sewer and water separately. Okay, if you split the fee, all right, the accounting method is that 17 of that is for their water portion, and 17 something is for the other portion. I'll check on it for you, because you know what I've been trying to do? I can't find any of my old bills.
The mayor's checking it. He thought it was off.
No, I'm gonna call Mr. Wojtek, myself, and ask him, what it was before we broke,
That was just added.
We broke them up.
A year ago, wasn't it?
about that, yeah.
Yeah, and then, okay, if they owe us 17, they say there's a lot of people out there need that $17.
See, when you do
Bills.
accounting, what people don't realize, in accounting, you want everything to be representative of what it's being charged to, okay? So it's permissible, to do a split like that, because you're showing that the one represents that. It's not just about the meter maintenance, it's about the man that comes out to read it, it's about the people that remember, we farmed out our function out of City Hall, okay? We tried to, I think the treasurer's office made a bid to keep it here, but when all was said and done, the water authority could do it for us cheaper. So that's what they charge us. And who's going to pay? Ultimately, taxpayers. It's the administrative fee. It's the world. Look at the banks. Everybody has administrative fees.
I just got hit with a bunch of big ones.
It's the world we live in. I don't like it necessarily. But you go to the airport now, what do you got? Processing fees.
$90 million.
You buy a ticket. How about this? You buy a ticket from the convention center. Okay? And if you go through one of those ticket agencies, for the privilege of printing it on your own printer, you got to pay a fee. Okay?
Big racket.
Right. It's the way the world has evolved.
And we spent $90 million for that airport. What have they accomplished?
Well, let's give them a chance, okay?
Hey, how long has the airport been open? I mean, with the new runway. They got their little prop planes in and out,
Well,
and
they can't control.
they
okay.
could sit down, talk to.
Yes, they can, but you know what? Let's look at it realistically. You have three major airports around Erie.
Right, and you're all,
I'm not making excuses, but look if you were an airline, you think about this, okay? You got Cleveland, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh, not to mention Akron, which is trying to be a major player with Cleveland. You got Youngstown and Erie, and Jamestown, which is kind of minor,
right.
But, you still got all those issues. Why would, if you were an airline, okay, why would you devote time to Erie? I mean, you're 100 miles, that's, every time they land and take off, they got to pay a fee,
Right.
okay? That's the reality of how airports make money, okay? So, there was a beautiful article, did you see it in the paper the other day? A gentleman said, why fly out of Erie or not? And he did the research, just like my wife and I do when we fly. You call up all the airports and you look at, and that's, if the airlines don't want to service Erie, I mean, Chris Rogers can sit there all afternoon and tell me he wants them. But their bottom line is, can they make money? Okay? Now, I think one airline, I believe it was Delta, was talking about, upgrading the jets, bringing a few more seats in, trying it out. They've even tried going to Atlanta. The public wanted it. So you have one proactive airline. US Air, on the other hand, which used to be the main carrier, they're forcing you to go to Philly. You can't fly to, people still think you can fly to Pittsburgh. You can't. Okay? You can't fly.
Chicago.
Philly, Chicago, and Detroit. But their Detroit, Delta was experimenting with Atlanta during the holidays because a lot of people like the Atlanta connection.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So the ultimate would be like in the old days, not too long ago, when I was still controller, you could fly, Cincinnati changed to Detroit, and then they added Atlanta. That was with Northwest, Delta rather. Northwest, Continental came out of Cleveland. US Air flew Pittsburgh, Philly, and Charlotte. So we were in the golden age, okay? The big thing is we're probably never going to get a lot of direct flights. Okay, our direct flights are like Erie to Chicago. Okay, and if that's your destination, fine. So what Erie's always going to be is we're going to be fed into a hub. Wherever that hub is, like in the old days, US Air's hub was Pittsburgh, so it worked out good for us.
Now it's dead down there.
Now you got to go to Philly, okay? And if the weather's bad, they're not going to bus you like they did in the old days from Pittsburgh to Erie, So it all comes down to, it's a different world with the airlines. The airlines are cutting. They're not buying aircraft, They're cutting. If you read on the internet, they cut Cleveland as a hub.
Right.
Cleveland's scrambling now to find, just like Pittsburgh did a few years ago when they got cut.
My question is, why are we not a hub? I mean, we've got 90, we've got 79, and then we have the lake.
Volume. Yeah. I mean, we got a beautiful location.
Yeah.
But the same can be said of Pittsburgh with the turnpikes, turnpike in 79.
Right, 79, 76.
And then you got Cleveland with 90 and the various,
Right.
It comes down to be a hub, they would have to fly, well, first we didn't have the runway. And you still don't have a crosswind runway.
Yeah.
They screwed up when they put.
So if you don't have a crosswind runway, like if you go to Cleveland, you see they got like a runway this way.
Right.
They got options, okay? You'd have to be able to hire. You've been in big airports.
Yeah.
You have to be able to handle that traffic.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We don't have the facility. Could they have done it? Yeah, but then you're asking people from Cleveland, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh to drive up here.
Right.
In our immediate area, we don't have a lot of people. We don't to make it like if you look at Allentown, you got 800,000 people. They're not a hub. We're 280,000 people just in the county. So if you add Crawford and Chautauqua, Ashtabula County and all that, we're not going to even have 1 million.
Yeah.
Okay? So I mean, that's the big deal with a hub, If Pittsburgh, think about this, Pittsburgh got dropped as a hub.
Right.
That's a big facility.
And Cleveland got dropped as a hub. So, I mean,
Okay.
yeah. No, I agree with him. I mean, we got to give them a chance because The last meeting I went to, there are things in the wind about some other airlines coming in here, maybe to fill in some holes, okay? We may be able to get like a direct flight to Orlando or Las Vegas.
Well, they had that for a while, didn't they? It's direct flight to Orlando from here. They tried it for about a month, didn't they?
Maybe. Yeah. Years ago, we had a flight to, well, what happened was you go from Erie to Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh to Orlando.
Right.
But they had a bigger planes coming in Erie until
Oh, they had the bigger plane.
but they shut them down when our,
Why'd they shut them down?
well, the runway didn't meet the criteria
Yeah,
for
but
safety.
the new runway has the criteria.
Yes, now it does, but now it's a matter of
volume.
convincing the airlines that you can fill a 100-seat plane, okay? Now that you got the runway, now you have to convince them that you can do it. And the way to do that is you have to sell out your flights, you have to show a waiting list, you have to have people complaining, saying, I would fly out of here. You have to have businesses complaining.
Well, I guess someone just did that, a bunch of people. That's why they're trying that direct flight to Orlando.
They're doing it now?
It's coming up on weekends only.
Well, I'll check. Well, that might be, there was another one, they're trying to get another airline. I don't want to, put it out because it's in the negotiating stages. But there's a couple airlines they're looking at that could fill in gaps. And then it's a matter of building up like if Delta thinks they can make money here, or US Air, or, anybody, United that, going to Chicago, then, we'll get bigger planes.
What happened at Finestra? Someone was going to buy that and...
Well, that was
UPS.
they still use it. It belongs to the airport. In fact, that's where we have our airport meetings, in part of the Finestra building. That was supposed to be
Who owns that land now?
the airport.
They bought that?
Well, I think, yeah, because they have their meetings in there. And the plan was that was going to be the Airbridge Airport. That was going to be the neutral zone where, duty-free.
Right.
When we were negotiating with that German outfit about, hooking up with Cottbus in Berlin, Derwitz in that area, that was what it was all about. That didn't work out because we were going too slow for them. Our runway wasn't complete, and they moved on. They had the runway, but they didn't have the infrastructure. When we went there, the airport we were going to use was an old MiG base that belonged to the East Germans or Russians. And they still had the blast tunnels and the hangars where the jets came out of.
Yeah.
But there was a huge runway. I mean, they had the runway, but they didn't have the infrastructure, the highways leading in. It was like when the Russians built these, they put them way out.
That's a beautiful hub right there for us.
But see, they were looking for,
He said 79 and...
well, they were looking for,
90, perfect.
see, they wanted an airport that was underutilized. And if we had had the runway, and the finances would have come together, they could have landed planes there and then trucked them out of here.
Okay, we got the runway now. How do we?
Why don't they...
But that project's moved on.
No.
But there's
bring it
other
back.
people,
I'm not sure where it is because it's, I think they moved on and they closed it, See, Eastern Europe was coming out of the Cold War era,
Right.
and they needed goods, both being shipped in and shipped out. And it was like kind of like a win-win move for us.
So how do we find something else like that might?
Like I said, you got to get away from here, you got to go to Houston
Well, the
or something like
airport
that.
was working with different people, and
Yeah.
somebody, I don't remember how that came around, somebody knew somebody, and people were put together, and things started coming together. We made a number of trade missions there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, it was strange sitting in looking out over an airport that was scrambling MiGs against us.
Yeah.
And there was a guy in the tower, I remember, his name was Heinrich. And we were talking with him, and we were joking. Here he was a pilot with the East Germans. So I took a picture with him, we were like,
yeah.
I said, but one time we were enemies, we were on both sides, I was on the other side. He joked,
Nice.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Kaz, how you guys doing today?
We're going good.
Good. Despite the weather.
Yeah, well, in Erie, in this time of year, this is used to it.
Well, from what I heard, this cold is going to last until at least the middle of next week. So we got at least 10 more days of this
Yeah, it's that groundhog, right?
I didn't. I mean, yeah, that groundhog.
Yeah, the one in Wisconsin bit the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Yeah, 2 questions.
Go ahead.
Anybody looking to revisit the South Pier, getting to the peninsula via ferry? Probably tunnel is out of the question. Some kind of drawbridge. I mean, who would bring that up? Who?
Well, the Port Authority, I'm attached to them this year as an alternate, so I'm going to maybe try to take a couple meetings in. They were talking about a ferry, but their ferry was going to Canada. And
He built that building down there.
but they were talking about different things, concerning the bridge. Though that would be kind of costly, and by the time they study the environmental impact and everything, that'd be interesting. But I'll kind of bring it up with Brenda Sandberg. She's with the Port Authority,
Yes.
and I'll ask her if there's any anything being stirred in that area anymore. But I remember they talked about a drawbridge. They talked about what they got what they call the water taxi that goes to the peninsula, but nothing that serves that east side corridor. Like,
Well, here's an idea. You could run a ferry from East Avenue.
yeah, you could. You thinking about a car ferry or?
A car ferry. Why not?
Yeah, there's not much distance there, but it'd be interesting if you could, I mean, if that would be profitable.
It's a moneymaker. Charge $2 a car.
Well, they were looking at like a couple ferry, they were looking at a people ferry. Then they were looking at a truck ferry to take big rigs across the lake. Like the rigs, they have to go to Canada. They were trying to cut off their trip around Buffalo and Niagara Falls.
Right.
So there was a couple things in the wind. I'll bring it up at the next, when I go there, I'll kind of ask her if there's anything moving in that area.
How did you know? I always heard that Mill Creek doesn't want it because they want people to funnel through the peninsula.
Well, I think
There's a lot of money involved.
I think they would, yeah, there probably would be a reaction from, indirectly. I mean, they would probably be going after some of the legislators. Yeah, because think about it. If you had a bridge to East Avenue, all of a sudden that area down there where the boat launch is, maybe we don't turn into the west side, with that amount of development. But I would think something would probably move down there.
If you had
You might have a couple, under the right circumstances, you probably could put a restaurant or a tavern or
all kinds of stuff.
different things down there. Don't you feel that way too, sir?
Well, yeah. The thing with Mill Creek, I mean, they might be, how should I say, overestimating the damage.
Yeah, and then the state there, you're going to have, I can tell you this, because I think that end of the peninsula involves the sanctuaries and everything, they will probably study that to kingdom come. But, we haven't even started that process, so even if we were to do that, you're probably,
Well, they got that campgrounds down there,
where?
down at North Pier, South Pier.
Yeah, but you're talking about,
They already got that, but mosquitoes will carry you away. It's so bad down there.
but it's a good idea, sir. They talked about it for a long time.
But I was going to say that if Mill Creek doesn't want it, they're jumping the gun because they're still going to get people from Pittsburgh coming up 79,
Yeah.
coming over, or where, they're not going to travel over to East Avenue, or, they're still going to get their business. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, but, to us east siders or people coming in from the east, it's another option,
I just don't understand why it's not. And a ferry it would just be so easy. I mean, they have them on the West Coast all over the place, and they got them on the East Coast all over the place, guys. It's no problem.
Yeah, to make money, you could probably have the ferry go to different spots, too. You could have it go, around the other side of the peninsula a little bit,
Beach 1, let them off on Beach 11, or swing around to Beach 1, wherever you want to let them off at.
Yeah, might be a good idea.
Hey, wherever. I mean,
We study everything else, we should study that, you know.
Unlimited. The other thing, are they going to do anything with this Hammermill powerhouse down there?
I think that belongs, if I remember right, that still belongs to the casino.
Oh my God.
You know, I'll find out, but
How's the plant working out down there? The plant that's down there now?
the what?
There's a plant down there, isn't there?
What do you mean?
Down there at the hammer mill.
A plant?
Isn't there a plant in there?
Biofuels.
Biofuel,
Yeah.
they've been there a while. They announced, I think they were slowing down, weren't they, sir?
Oh, sure they are. I mean, yeah, the price of diesel is down so much that, yeah, they're probably making a penny on a gallon now. They're probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they just shut down operations till price of, crude comes back and...
I'm gonna make a couple calls, but I think that powerhouse, the last time I knew, that's the one that, the casino held on to.
That's last I've heard of it too.
Yeah, because I think that was their one bright spot. They still had control of it's over the hill, like near the water, so they view it as a site for development, but.
Well, yeah, there's like a basement to that, because I used to work there, and there's access right to the lake from the bottom of that powerhouse.
I think they were gonna put their plan was, I thought, some kind of like high-class restaurant down there.
Well, as far as I know, all the turbines are still there. I don't know, I know there was a lot of looting going on down there with the metal hounds.
Yeah, I heard that, that was supposed to be a restaurant and, part of their, waterfront connection to the casino. It's a shame that
Well, that turbine room was always, it was like the cleanest place in the plant.
Yeah, a lot of places I've seen them as I travel have used old factories for restaurants and museums and.
You seen the powerhouse in
What is
Cleveland?
it, Bethlehem down there? Don't they have the casino?
Yeah, in fact, my son lives in Allentown, so I get down there a lot. The actual steel plant, I forget what they call it, Stacks or something. They got incorporated as part of it as an art museum. The casino itself is a brand new building, but it's built on the Bethlehem steel site.
Yes.
And a lot of the old buildings have been, some of the old, the ones that are in good shape, have been converted into, there's a TV station down there, there's some offices, and one of the steel mills itself with the big, what do you call it, the blow pipes on the top, they use that for the blast furnace pipes, they use that for like an art museum. They light it up in during different times of the year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really that project is, they said it's going to take them, I forget how many years, and between the casino and the cities of Bethlehem and Allentown and all that, they've been working on that site. There's more to come. You can't believe it's it's a huge site, and they've done a lot to it.
It's going to take some money for somebody to do something down there, but it's probably a gold mine, and it's just sitting there. It's just...
Yeah, I wish we'd had the casino on our site.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
I mean, that would have been, I can only imagine what that would have looked like, what that would have done to the east side, what that would have done to our budget in Erie.
Well, Kaz, who was that? Was that more Rick Filippi, or was it City Council who kind of...
I always thought it was a little bit of both. They were going at it, and there was like mistrust on both sides. And then, you had a cast of characters that nobody liked. And at the end of the day, the only people who lost was the city. And, they didn't trust the mayor didn't trust a lot of people on council. They didn't like the representatives from the racetrack, and it was a real mess. And if you remember, it came down to they wanted some money out of the deal for a few years. Do you remember that?
Yes.
It's kind of like if I give you $100 and I ask for 10 back, do you give it to me? For 10 years? If I give you $100 a year, that was the kind of the deal. But it's a shame that we couldn't make it work, because I don't want to say it's the last great thing that could happen to us, but man, that was one that was tailor-made for hitting a home run if we could have.
Well, outside of maybe a brewery coming to town, which would be a great idea.
Remember they tried to get that on Gerard, wasn't it, or
What's that?
the Miller Brewery?
Oh,
That was supposed to go to seminary, remember?
No.
Yeah, it's a shame, it's a shame when we had the Kohler project that didn't work out.
that guy.
Now that building's down and, we need something to come here. We need something to,
Who's out there looking for work to bring into Erie? Who's job?
here's a good question. Who brought the potato chip plant to Waterford? There's a good question. Here's a plant that's growing,
Really growing, double the workforce, different things they're getting into.
I think we got too many people working in different directions. We need, instead of a shotgun, we need a rifle. We need to identify targets and start approaching them and
Too many people got their hands in the pot.
yeah.
Follow the paper trail.
But you got some good ideas, sir.
Our target should be we have available fresh water.
Oh yeah, that's a big asset. When you think about it, you can't believe that not many people have that. There was talk years ago about pumping the water out of the Great Lakes, south, but they forgot it was international concern to Canadians too. But you have some good ideas, sir. I'm going to check with on that powerhouse who owns it, and also about the East Side Bridge, if that's even being looked at anymore.
As far as I know, the sewer lines, water lines are still intact going to the powerhouse in that area.
Yeah, because I think when Hammermill left, we lost a ton of money, our sewer plant.
Yes.
We gained a lot of,
Some giant sewer lines running from the plants down to the wastewater treatment plant.
yep.
I mean, that infrastructure is there. It's ready to go. I mean, any plant, it's just...
But-
gotta get in some contact with the right people and say, hey, you want a brewery? Here you go. I mean, some kind of... That would probably be the best. Yeah, breweries do have a smell to them, but think of the jobs maybe well.
How many people would take Hammermill back with all the ash and everything now?
Oh, we'll take it back.
Well, thank you for calling, sir.
Okay, you guys have a good day.
You too. I'll get you an answer next week.
Yeah, write it down and...
I got them here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
Have a good day, guys.
Thank you.
You too, take care. And with that,
We have to go off.
we have to go. Thank you for watching and calling.
And call us again next week. We're another hour of Taxpayer Hotline.
Yes, I'll be here for about 15 minutes of that.
Oh, you got to get going too, huh?
No, I'll just be late again.
Yeah, when I came, nobody was here.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9.